So this is going to be another movie review. This one's called The Big Steal, 1949. This is going to be another Robert Mitchum noir, but it's got some really lame romantic comedy in it. It's got the same actors as Out of the Past, which is a much better movie. I'm giving this 2 out of 5 stars. I just liked it. There's a cool plot twist ending, but other than that, it's pretty boring car chase nonsense. Nothing much going on in this. Of course, it's filmed in glorious black and white, 1949. It's got the 1940s cars driving the windy road really fast in Mexico. The whole film was in Mexico. And like I said, it's got the 2 actors from Out of the Past, Robert Mitchum, Jane Greer. Jane Greer wasn't even supposed to be in this, but Robert Mitchum got caught with cannabis. And the blondie who was supposed to do her part abruptly quit because she didn't want to be tainted by Robert Mitchum debauchery in his personal life. So they ended up hiring Jane Greer. She didn't agree to do it. It gets a high 7 rating on IMDb, but I didn't like it. I didn't think it was nearly as good on the double bill for Illegal. I thought Illegal was much better, much better movie. And I was disappointed by this, The Big Steal. I loved Robert Mitchum and Jane Greer in Out of the Past. I thought it was one of the best film noir that I've ever seen, quite honestly. And this one disappointed. So this army guy is going after Robert Mitchum. He thinks he's Robert Mitchum is in on some kind of payroll theft at the army. Never mind that the army stole the taxpayers' money in the first place. So I guess it's like Robin Hood. I don't know. But the Robin Hood dude, he's engaged to Jane Greer. She was foolish enough to lend him $2,000, and of course he never paid back. So she came down to Mexico looking for him, and this Colonel Blake, who thinks that Robert Mitchum was somehow, who was in charge of the payroll, was somehow in on the payroll theft, I guess, or at least that's what the movie conveys in the beginning. Of course, that changes later on. I don't want to spoil it, but anyways, so the Colonel Blake goes onto the ship. He sees Robert Mitchum there, and he says, "Where's the money?" Holds him up at gunpoint. They get in a fist fight, and Robert Mitchum escapes. Jane Greer just happens to be there, of course, and you got things like street vendors selling Robert Mitchum stuff for 40 pesos. He buys a bird in a cage, and then he gives it to Jane Greer, who then gives it to the taxi driver. Again, all of this is filmed in Mexico, and then Jane Greer comes storming into her fiance's hotel room, demanding her $2,000 back. the guy just takes off, tricks her into letting him leave. Um, Robert Mitchum is going to get his haircut, but he keeps getting interrupted by chasing this Jane Greer around Mexico, and they try to catch him in his car, but he kind of sideswipes Robert Mitchum. And at this point, they're like bickering, like angry, kind of like a married couple angry at each other, I guess, during the early part of the movie. And they gradually start to fall in love with each other, thanks to the shenanigans of her fiance and this other guy's chasing them as well. The Colonel Blake guy from the army, who thinks that Robert Mitchum is getting a cut on the fencing operation that's going on. So there's a lot of chase scenes, driving around and boring stuff, which really turned me off. I couldn't get into the romantic comedy between Mitchum and Greer. It just didn't click for me. I don't know what it was. It wasn't there. It wasn't funny, and it wasn't romantic to me. He kept calling her Chiquita or doll, and she wasn't attractive at all. She doesn't look attractive to me at all. This movie is dated and not very good, in my opinion. Anyways, enough complaining. Getting back to the story. So they get after Mitchum gets sideswiped, he goes to the inspector who's practicing English, and the inspector follows them to the hotel where this Fisk guy is, the guy who stole the payroll. He's trying to get a new tire on his car, and Mitchum and Greer show up. The inspector just happens to be there. He's playing a cat and mouse game, quite literally, in his mind, and he just wants to follow all the mice according to what he's saying in English, what he's practicing. So Fisk takes off. There's another car chase scene with the three cars, and they go to the place where the fencing operation is to occur. And, a lot of stuff happens towards the end. It's a lot better than the first hour of the movie, let's just say. The ending was better. And it's directed by Don Siegel, who also did Dirty Harry, The Beguiled, some of the better Clint Eastwood movies. But this one was just poor, in my opinion. It wasn't that good. I couldn't really get into it. Fortunately, it was only an hour and 11 minutes. The last 10 minutes or so were pretty good. The ending, though, didn't really make sense. I mean, it turns out that I guess I'm not spoiling the ending, because the ending is something totally different. Another non-romantic scene with Mitchum and Greer. But when they get to the chateau or whatever it is, Fisk sells the stolen money for half the price, because it's army money and it's easy to trace, I guess. And That's the fencing operation. Then Mitchum and Greer show up. They get shot at, captured, and brought to the chateau. Then Blake shows up, and he reveals that he's getting a cut on the 150,000. But I guess he thinks it's a low amount, so he shoots Fisk, kills him, and then there's a scuffle. The fencing guy gets shot, the guy who's paying the 150 grand, and the inspector captures Blake. The whole thing's everybody's happy. The Mexican authorities are happy. Robert Mitchum's happy. Jane Greer's happy. And that's pretty much the end. I'm not going to reveal the real ending. Like I said, I don't really spoil the ending because the real ending is the non-romance scene between Greer and Mitchum, which I disliked and I thought was really lame. But the so-called spoiler ending, which I just revealed, wasn't really a spoiler because it wasn't the true ending. That part was the decent part. I'd say the last maybe 15 minutes before the last 5 minutes. That makes sense. The 10 minutes before the last 5 minutes is the best part of the movie. I thought that was pretty good. If they could have just done something different, got rid of all the chase scenes where she's driving crazy and Mitchum's telling her how to drive. That part just drove me nuts, no pun intended. But it wasn't funny, and it just rubbed me the wrong way. Anyways, I want to watch Cry in the Dark now. I'm surprised the librarian hasn't kicked us out yet. We're supposed to be out of here like 36 minutes ago. So I'm going to kick myself out. And we're going to go to the desk out in the main area. And I'll try to finish Cry in the Dark. I've got about 3 hours and 10 minutes left. So it should be plenty of time, even if there's bonus features on there. And then I'll watch Rattlers, 1976. So making good time here, thanks to my flaky friend who got sick. And on Wednesday, it'll be thanks to my church friend who didn't show up for 2 weeks. So that's the end of my review. On to the next one. Laters.